You are standing in a doorway. You walked here with purpose. You had a mission. There was something you needed, something important. Or at least it felt important 3 seconds ago. But now you are just standing here, looking around, scanning the room, waiting for your brain to remind you why you came here. Nothing. Complete blank. You walked 10 steps and your brain just deleted the entire reason you moved. So you do that thing where you walk back to where you started, hoping the original location will trigger the memory, like your brain left a bookmark there. And sometimes it works. You get back and suddenly remember, oh, right, the charger. But sometimes it does not work, and you just stand there, in your original spot. Still confused, now even more confused because you just did a whole loop for nothing. This is not just you being weird, this happens to almost everyone. Scientists have actually studied this. It has a name. So let me show you what is actually happening when your brain betrays you in doorways. I break down the weird normal stuff everyone does but nobody talks about. Today, we are exploring the doorway effect. What actually happens in your brain when you walk into a room and completely forget why you are there? This one is going to make you feel way better about yourself. Here's the thing about your brain, it is not designed to remember everything. It would be overwhelmed if it tried, so it uses shortcuts. It organizes memories into chunks and files them away based on context. Your environment is a huge part of how memories get stored and retrieved. When you are sitting in your living room and think I need scissors from the kitchen, your brain creates a little task. Get scissors. And it tags that task to your current environment. The couch, the TV, the living room context. Then you stand up and start walking. The first thing that happens is your brain shifts into movement mode. Walking requires processing. Your brain has to manage balance and navigation and obstacle avoidance. Even though walking feels automatic, it is actually using mental resources. This alone starts competing with the memory of why you are walking. Then you approach the doorway, and here's where things get weird. Your brain treats doorways as event boundaries. This is the actual scientific term. When you pass through a doorway, your brain interprets it as the end of one event and the beginning of another. It is like your brain closes a file and opens a new one. The living room file gets closed. The kitchen file gets open. But the task you were holding in working memory was tagged to the living room file. So when the file closes, the task gets archived with it. You walk through the door, and suddenly the information is not readily accessible anymore. It is not gone. It is just filed away in the wrong cabinet. This is why you can walk back and remember. Returning to the original room reopens the old file. The context triggers the memory retrieval. Let me break down the timeline of what happens in your brain. Second 0. You are sitting somewhere. A thought pops up. I need something from the other room. The task enters your working memory. This is your brain's temporary sticky note. Second 1 through 3. You stand up. Now your brain starts allocating resources to movement. The sticky note is still there, but other processes are starting to compete for attention. Second 4 through 7. You are walking toward the doorway. Maybe you get distracted by something you pass. A phone, a pet, a random object. Each distraction tugs at your limited working memory. Second 8. You reach the doorway. Your brain recognizes this as a transition point. Time to close the current context and open a new one. Second 9. You pass through the doorway. The event boundary triggers. Your brain does a soft reset for the new environment. It archives the old context, including your task. Second 10. You are in the new room. You stop. Your brain tries to retrieve the task, but it was tagged to the old environment. The retrieval queue is missing. Second 11 onward. You stand there confused. Your brain is searching, but it is looking in the current file, not the archived one. The memory is there, but you cannot access it easily. This whole process happens without you realizing it. You just experience the end result, standing in a room with no idea why. Now, here is what makes it worse. Stress makes the doorway effect stronger. When you are stressed, your working memory capacity shrinks. You can hold less information, so the task gets dropped even easier. Multitasking makes it worse. If you are thinking about multiple things while walking, you are overloading your working memory. Something has to go. Usually it is the original task. Age makes it more frequent. As we get older, our working memory capacity decreases slightly. The effect becomes more noticeable. But it happens to young people too, just less often. Distraction is the killer. If anything grabs your attention while walking, the task gets pushed out. Your brain prioritizes new information over stored intentions. But here is the fascinating part. This is not a bug. It is a feature. Your brain is designed to segment experiences. It helps you organize memories. It helps you focus on the present context. It prevents information overload. Imagine if every thought from every room stayed equally active in your mind. You would be overwhelmed. The doorway effect is your brain keeping things manageable. It just happens to be really annoying when you needed those scissors. Now let me tell you why walking back works. This is called context-dependent memory. Your brain stores memories with tags related to where and when they were formed. The environment becomes part of the memory itself. When you return to the original room, you are reloading the original context. The sights and sounds and spatial layout all serve as retrieval cues. They help your brain find the archived file and reopen it. This is why the memory often floods back immediately when you return. Oh right, that is what I needed. The context unlocked it. But sometimes even returning does not work. This happens when the memory was not strongly encoded in the first place. If the thought was fleeting or you were very distracted, it might not have been stored well enough to retrieve, even with context cues. In that case, the memory might come back later randomly. You will be doing something else and suddenly remember what you needed. Your brain finally found the file in the archive. Not here is what scientists discovered in experiments. Researchers had people walk through doorways in virtual reality while holding objects. They were asked to remember what they were carrying. Performance dropped significantly after passing through doorways compared to walking the same distance without doorways. The doorway itself caused the forgetting, not the distance walked, not the time elapsed. The simple act of passing through a door boundary created memory interference. Other experiments showed that even imagining walking through a doorway can trigger a small version of this effect. Your brain treats conceptual boundaries similarly to physical ones, so the doorway effect is deeply wired into how your brain processes space and context. Now here's what you can do about it. Rehearse the task verbally. As you walk, say out loud, "Scissors, scissors, scissors." Verbal rehearsal keeps the information active in working memory and makes it harder to archive. Create a visual anchor. Picture yourself doing the task in the destination room. Visualize grabbing the scissors from the drawer. This creates a stronger memory trace linked to the destination. Minimize distractions. Do not check your phone while walking to get something. Keep your attention on the task until you complete it. Make the trip immediately. The longer you wait between thinking and doing, the more likely you will forget. Act on the intention quickly. Use physical cues. Point in the direction you are going. Hold up fingers representing what you need. Physical actions create additional memory traces. Accept that it will happen sometimes. This is normal brain function. Everyone experiences it. It does not mean anything is wrong with you. Your brain is just doing its job of organizing information. The doorway effect reminds us that memory is not a recording. It is a reconstruction. And the reconstruction depends heavily on context. Your brain is constantly making decisions about what to keep accessible and what to file away. Doorways just happen to be one of the triggers that prompt that filing. So next time you walk into a room and forget why you were there, do not worry. Your brain is not broken. It is just being efficient in a really inconvenient way. The good news is now you understand why, and understanding makes it a little less frustrating. Just a little. Subscribe if you have ever walked back to a room just to remember why you left. Drop a comment with the weirdest thing you forgot mid-doorway. I once forgot I was making tea and found the kettle 3 hours later. See you in the next one.